everyone, and welcome back to Linda Tina TV. If it's not your first time here, if it is your first time, do take a minute and subscribe, because I'm sure you're going to have so many videos on my channel that you will enjoy. So today we're going to be talking about pregnancy in Italy. I'm going to be talking about my experiences. Disclaimer, so this is from my experiences and also a little research I've done. I have a son who's 8 years old and a daughter who's 6. Both were born here in Italy, but I am originally from Uganda, East Africa. And I remember when I moved here and I got pregnant and, you know, I started my motherhood journey, I didn't see so many videos online talking about being a mother in Italy, you know, just to have an idea of what to expect. And so today I was thinking this would be a useful video to someone, especially someone who's not from here, who's going to soon be a mom or who is planning to be a mom in Italy. So I'm going to just be giving you a few details of things you need to know, but I mean, everything is on the internet these days, but it's nice to also hear from someone who has gone through the process. So if that sounds good, please do stay tuned. Okay, so you find out you're pregnant. As long as you are a resident of Italy, you are entitled to the public health service, which would include your periodic checks, any treatments in case of any risks, scans, and all those things you need to do between the time you find out you're pregnant to the time that you give birth. And it's free and it's amazing. I had an amazing experience in the public hospital. Now, you can choose to go public. You just have to call the health centers, the public health centers, and find a doctor, make an appointment, or you can choose to go private. Now, what's the difference between going public and going private? So I did everything public except for my periodic checks, and this is the reason why some people choose to go private. It's because, one, you can decide on the doctor that you want to see, like you can decide to see the same doctor throughout your pregnancy. If you go public, for every visit you'll have a different doctor, whichever doctor is available for your next visit. And then also you can choose to go private because you want to go to a specific hospital, because with the public sometimes they could move you to different hospitals, as far as I understood. I could be wrong about that, but I wanted to go to that specific hospital that was near my house, and also to see a specific doctor that someone had recommended. But to be honest, I mean, all the doctors that I saw at the end were great. Then also you may choose to go private because the waiting times could be long and maybe you want more checks. So I saw my doctor every month or every few weeks. With the public, obviously they give you the time that you need to go, which may not be, you know, as frequent as you may want. That's a personal choice. And so that is just to explain why someone would choose to go private or public during the pregnancy period. So now moving on to the time when you are going to give birth. When you go public, you'll just go to the public hospital when you have your labor pains, and they'll assign you the doctor on duty. You can choose to go private as well if you want to have a special kind of room, which, to be honest, in my experience, is not really necessary, because we had a fantastic room. I was there with another mom, but like really far apart. It was a very big room, and then she left and I stayed there alone. So I feel like unless you really need the privacy to be in your own room, the public rooms are perfectly fine. I had fantastic nurses. And by the way, I had a very crazy birth story for my first. I have it on here. I'll leave it down in the description box, and I'll also leave a link for you. I almost died. Like, I had a crazy birth experience. I had preeclampsia right after I had my son. Like, on the day that I was supposed to be dismissed from the hospital, my pressure shot up and everything went downhill from there. If you want to hear that story, just click on that video. But anyway, yeah, other than that, everything went so well. And still, I was in the public hospital. You pay nothing, zero. And I had all these treatments with all the complications I had after, but I stayed in hospital for 10 days and my son was there and everything went just perfectly fine. But on the other hand, there are people who choose to go private because they want their own rooms, or they want some special stuff. For example, different visiting hours, I guess, or more than 2 people in the room. Someone could sleep in there in your room with an extra bed and, you know, all those other extra things. Home births are not really encouraged in Italy, from my observation, because I remember I toyed with the idea of having a home birth. My husband was not very sure about it because he said in case there's any emergency, then they have to rush you to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. But I also realized that talking to my gynecologist, they were not really pro home births, but you can have a home birth, you can organize it, you can push for it. And I guess you'd need to pay for that privately. If you want to have private doctors at your home, you'd have to organize for that privately. But it's not usually encouraged. Don't ask me why. Now let's move on to the benefits. So in Italy, all new births, the moms are entitled to a premium that is called the Mamma Domani bonus. It's 800 euros, a one-off. And I did get that money because it started when, I think the year my daughter was born, and it was for the kids that were born that year, and my daughter had already been born, something like that. But anyway, I didn't get that money for both my kids, but I know that it's there, 800 euros, it's a one-off. When it comes to other benefits, guys, you would need to do your research to find out more information on this. But from what I know, there are no real benefits like it is in other countries. In Italy, where like every child is entitled to this amount of money by default. Now it's something new that has been introduced. I heard there is, I think, 250 euros or something like that. But many of the benefits in Italy depend a lot on your income, your family income, like your partner's income and yours joint, and it also depends a lot on the wealth that you have, like the houses you have, and all those things add up to for them to see if you actually need this kind of benefits, this kind of support. You would need to request for it. When it comes to maternity leave, I feel like Italy really protects mothers like so much, and it makes some employers mad because like once a woman is pregnant here, they're kind of really entitled to so many things. So how does it work? It depends a lot on your job and what contribution you have made to the economy, but you are entitled to 5 months obligatory time off work, 2 months before the date of birth and 3 months after the birth of your baby, and you are paid 80% of your salary if you are, you know, a normal worker. And then also if you are an entrepreneur, you're still entitled to 80% of your income, and your absence from work is not obligatory. The other one, your absence from work is actually obligatory, like you don't have to go to work. And this depends on what job you're doing. If you're in a sort of workplace that is high risk for you, like domestic workers, the moment you find out you're pregnant, you stop working and you still get a maternity allowance as long as the job is risky. For example, I was working in hospitality, in hotel, and a friend of mine got pregnant and she really wanted to work. But by law, she was not supposed to be there because we stay on our feet for long hours, and so it was risky for her and the baby. When I tell you Italy protects mothers, a pregnant woman and a woman who has just given birth is entitled to maintain their job and to get this allowance, like this payment, the 80%. It goes down after the 3 months after birth. It keeps going, the percentage keeps going down, but they're entitled to keep their jobs. Like you can't fire them. You can't fire a woman who's pregnant, a woman who's on maternity leave, unless it's a very serious case and you have to prove that this person has to be let go from the job, whether they are present or not. And you cannot be at work. Like it's compulsory for you to stay home for those 5 months. And if you're high risk, from the moment you find out that you're pregnant, you're supposed to stay home. If you are in some kind of jobs like a domestic worker, you must stay home and you will be paid. Then there are different types of allowances, which you'd find all that information on the internet that you can apply for depending on your contribution to the economy, depending on how long you have worked, depending on your economic status, like your income, or if you have no income at all. And then there is paternity leave. I think it's 7 days. And then obviously if the mother is not present, if they die at birth or if they give up their rights as a mom, the father can take that paternity, all those maternity benefits move to the father. What else? Generally speaking, my personal experience being pregnant in Italy, let's say comparing to back home in Uganda, I realized that they are very, very, very keen on the checkups. Like they check everything. They have all these checkups on the fetus to just make sure that everything is fine, and they're very careful with mothers. People will give you way, well, sometimes on the train, on the bus, even if you're walking, you have priority in the queues and everything. I realized that Italian moms are more active when they are pregnant, I think, compared to back home. Back home, when you're pregnant, you can kind of just sit and eat whatever you want to eat because you're pregnant. I realized that moms here are really, really, really active. I also realized that there are more older moms in Italy compared to back home. Actually, I had my first when I was 25. Like, I turned 26 in the hospital when I had my son. And I remember everyone telling me, oh my God, you're so young. Did you want to have this baby? Even when I went for the maternity lessons. Oh my God, did you really want to have this baby at this time? You're so young. So there's also that. Most moms in Italy are older. Italy has been registered as one of the countries with the lowest birth rates, which I don't understand why, because in Italy they really love children. It's a very close-knit, family-oriented country, but the birth rates are really low, I guess because of the economy. The economy is not so great, so people are thinking, why am I having a child when I can't afford to have a child? Very wise. Basically, yeah, my pregnancy was great. Guys, I'll tell you that the public hospitals in Italy are fantastic. The healthcare system in this country is just great. So that's all I wanted to share. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you the other part now, motherhood in Italy. And this I'll mostly be comparing to the motherhood experiences of other people I've been seeing back home, and how I feel I'm handling motherhood here in Italy. If that sounds interesting, then you better click on the next video. You better stay tuned. Other than that, see you in my next one. Bye-bye.